Alright, what's up guys, this is Jake, and in this video I'm going to be showing you exactly how you can go ahead and set up SEO on your Shopify store. So for this tutorial we're going to be using 3 different platforms. So the first one's going to be whatever your Shopify store is, so you're going to need to be logged into your Shopify store to follow through this tutorial. The second thing we're going to be using is the Google Keyword Planner to help us with keyword research, which we're going to be touching on in just a second. And the third thing we're going to use is the Yoast SEO Shopify app, which is going to help us a lot throughout the entire SEO optimization process. So with that said, let's go ahead and take a look at what SEO actually is. So jumping right into it, let's take a quick look at what exactly SEO is, so that way you understand what it is you're doing and why you need to go ahead and do it and why it's so important. So SEO is short for search engine optimization, and SEO determines where your website's pages show up in Google search results, or alternatively, if you're using other search engines, they also have SEO based algorithms as well. So SEO is a traffic source that is technically free and can also be considered a passive traffic source. So let's elaborate on this a little more. So if you have a product that ranks high for a specific search term, for example, gaming monitor, then people searching for that term will click over to your website and potentially purchase the product. And this entire sale wouldn't cost you anything on your end advertising wise. SEO traffic is also passive, meaning that people will constantly be searching for things and keywords on Google and clicking over to websites, whether you actively are doing anything or not. So whether you're asleep, awake, working, it doesn't matter. People are going to be searching for things on Google and clicking over to websites. So SEO traffic is passive and relatively consistent. However, the big caveat is that websites aren't going to rank themselves, and depending on how competitive the keyword actually is, there may be an upfront cost in order to get your website to rank highly for those keywords. So there's essentially 3 stages of SEO. So we're going to go ahead and briefly walk through those right now. And then after that, we're going to actually get into optimizing your SEO on your Shopify store. So the first stage here is keyword research. So the first step in any SEO campaign is the keyword research stage. And this is where you determine which keywords are the best ones to try and rank for your specific products. So the amount of search volume as well as the competitiveness of the keywords are going to dictate which keywords are going to be optimal for targeting. The second stage is on-page SEO, which is optimizing your product page, your photos, and your entire website, so that Google knows exactly what your page and website is about and what terms to rank it for. Website performance, such as loading speed and bounce rate, also play a significant role in this as well. And lastly, the third stage of SEO consists of off-page SEO, which primarily is building backlinks. So backlinks are just links from other websites that point towards your site. And links to your site from other high-quality sites makes your site look more trustworthy in the eyes of Google, helping to push you higher in the search results. So in this video, we're mainly going to be focusing on the first 2 stages, so the keyword research and the on-page SEO. As the off-page SEO would need another standalone video of its own. But the good thing is, with an e-commerce store, a lot of the time, if you just optimize the first 2 things, you can start to generate SEO traffic without even doing too much off-page. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump right into it. All right, so to go ahead and get started, let's go ahead and take a look at what search results actually look like so we can see what we are optimizing for. So if I were to search the search phrase here, gaming monitor, we can see that these are going to be the results that show up in Google. So we can see that these results over here on the right are going to be the Google shopping ads. So this isn't going to be optimized for SEO. And then we can see right here, we have the Google search ads. So we can see that this is an ad, this is an ad, and this is an ad. So these top 3 results are ads right here. And then we can see that this 4th result right here, which is gaming monitors from Best Buy. Here we can see it doesn't say ads, so this is what's known as the first organic result, meaning that this result is here based off of SEO. So the cool thing about this is that Best Buy right now is not paying anything to have their website shown in this spot. So all of these companies here are paying for these ad spots, and then these 3 websites here are paying for these ad spots as well. But Best Buy is not paying for this first organic result right here. And we can see the next couple of results are also organic results as well. So one of the other advantages of the organic results is sometimes they can seem more trustworthy. So sometimes people will search for something and they will skip past the ads and actually look at the first few organic results because they feel in their mind that these results may be more trustworthy because people aren't paying for these results to show up. Now, whether that line of thinking is flawed is definitely pretty likely, considering people are, probably paying to have SEO done to rank here. But regardless, that's going to be the psychological perception that a lot of these prospective buyers have. So it's important to go ahead and know. So this is what we're trying to do here. We're trying to get our pages of our store to show up in these organic results. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the first stage here, which is going to be the keyword research. So we're going to be sticking with the gaming monitor example here. So I'm on a demo store right here, and we can see I just created a quick product here and copy and pasted some basic info in here and put in some images of a gaming monitor. So we're going to go ahead and stick with this gaming monitor right here. So the first thing we need to go ahead and do is figure out which keywords that we need to be targeting for this gaming monitor. So in order to do that, we're going to head over to Google and you're going to search for keyword planner here, and then you're going to go ahead and choose the result here that is a part of ads.google.com. So we can see this is the keyword planner. When we click on this, we'll go ahead and be brought to this page right here. Now, if you don't have a Google Ads account, you're going to have to go ahead and make one, but you can just make a free account right in here and you'll be good to go. And what this is going to allow us to do is this is going to, one, let us see the search volume of specific keywords, so we can see how many people are actually searching for a specific keyword phrase. And then it's also going to give us new keyword ideas that we can go ahead and use to try and target for our product. So obviously, based on this product, our main keyword here is going to be gaming monitor, but we also want to go ahead and look for other types of keywords that we can rank for as well. So right here, I'm going to go ahead and click on get search volume and forecast initially. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is just type in our main keyword just to see how much demand there actually is for gaming monitors. So if we go ahead and bring this up, we can see here that the keyword of gaming monitor averages around 100,000 to 1 million searches per month in Google. So obviously this is a lot of searches. So this is a very in-demand keyword, which means it's likely going to be hard to rank for. So the higher the searches are, typically the more competition there's going to be for that keyword, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't try and rank for it anyway, because there's going to be a lot of different variations you can also rank for. So now what I want to do though is I want to find some additional keywords that we can go ahead and use. So I'm going to go ahead and back out, and I'm going to go right here to discover new keywords. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is type in our main keyword here once again, which is gaming monitor. Then I'm going to click on get results. And we can see once again, this is going to first show the details for the keyword we provided, gaming monitor, and then it's going to show a bunch of different related keywords right here. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is bring up a notepad here, and I'm going to put in our main keyword that we're going for, which is gaming monitor. But then we're also going to look for other keywords here that have search volume that are also relevant to our product right here. So we can see that our specific monitor is a 144 hertz monitor, and we can see that 144 hertz monitor has between 10,000 and 100,000 searches per month. So this would be another good keyword to go ahead and add onto this notepad here. We can see that there's a couple different branded ones here. Curved monitor is another potential good keyword if our monitor was curved. In this case, it's not, but if it was, that would be a good one. We can see that we have a keyword here with a modifier. So we have gaming monitor is our main keyword, but then we have best gaming monitor here, which adds another word into it, which has volume between 10,000 and 100,000. So this would be another keyword right here. And one thing that you'll notice is when it comes to keywords, typically the more words that are in a keyword phrase, the lower the volume is going to be. However, they're normally going to be easier to rank for. So if your keyword phrase was something like best 144 hertz gaming monitor, that's going to be typically less competitive and easier to rank for than just gaming monitor. However, less people are going to be searching this exact phrase than they are gaming monitor, but it's still important to keep that in mind. And this is also another lesson that we can do right here, because what I did with this key phrase here is I essentially combined our first 3 keywords into this one right here, which is another one that we can keep in mind to optimize for, which might be easier to rank for. If we go ahead and keep scrolling down, we can see there's other keywords such as HDMI 2.1 monitor. This could be another one we could use. Then we can go ahead and continue to scroll down and see if we see any other keywords that specifically are relevant for our specific monitor. So we can see right here, best monitor for PS5. So in this particular case, this could be another good one that we could go ahead and optimize for. And we can just kind of assume by default that if there's search volume for best monitor for PS5, then there's likely going to be volume for something like best monitor for the Xbox equivalent right here. So this is something we could also optimize for. So you want to just go ahead and dig through all of these different keyword ideas and find ones that are relevant to your product. Obviously, you don't want to take ones that are not relevant to your product at all, because that's just going to be wasting your time. So you want to take ones that are relevant to your product and put them in this notepad so we can go ahead and optimize our SEO for them. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and stick with these keywords here for now, but you can go ahead and spend more time in here doing the keyword research as well if you want. So once we have our keywords here, we can head back to our Shopify store and begin optimizing. So the first thing that we want to do though is we actually are going to head over to the Shopify App Store and install an app called Yoast SEO. And this is just going to go ahead and help us out with the SEO optimization process and make it a lot quicker and easier. So you can go ahead and get to Yoast SEO by clicking the link in the description, and they have a 14-day free trial that you can go ahead and use. So you can start your free trial by clicking the first link in the description. So once you install the app, this is what it's going to go ahead and look like once you open it up. And there's just a couple quick settings that we need to go ahead and edit before we actually get into editing the SEO of our product, because Yoast actually helps us with some site-wide SEO that we can set up by default. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. So if we come over here to settings, we're going to just wait for this to load up, and we're going to come in here and set up a couple of things right here. So if we come down here to schema and click on site representation here, we can see that this info is intended to appear in Google's knowledge graph here. So we just need to fill out some basic information for our store here, and Yoast is going to automatically set up what is known as our schema and or structured data. And having your schema information properly set up is going to help with SEO site-wide, not just on a specific page, but on every single page. So this is something that we can set up really easily just by putting in our organization here. So if I were to just go ahead and put in like test store, and then you could go ahead and put in your logo by selecting an image right here. So I went ahead and put in a logo, and then you can go ahead and put in different profiles that you have right here for your business. So if you have a Facebook page, a Twitter page, or anything else like a YouTube channel or Pinterest, LinkedIn, literally any other type of page that you have associated with your business, you can go ahead and put in right here. And then you want to go ahead and just click on save. And just to take a quick look at why filling out your site representation is important, it's because it's going to help with the knowledge panel here in Google. So we can see here, if we search Yoast SEO in Google, we can see this is going to be the knowledge panel over here. So you can see their description, we can see information about the actual business here, we can see their logo, we can see their different profiles and such down here. So filling out the site representation is going to help to go ahead and get your knowledge panel set up like this over here in Google for your own store. And then once you have that set up, we can go ahead and get started. So the first thing we can go ahead and see here, we can go ahead and look at our product page right here. And then once we have Yoast installed, we can actually come over here to more actions on any product and then click on optimize in Yoast SEO. And then it's just going to bring up this product inside of the app here. So now that the product is actually loaded up in Yoast SEO, what we need to go ahead and do is add in the focus keyphrase here. So what this is essentially going to be is this is going to be the primary keyword that we are trying to rank for. So our main keyword here is just going to be gaming monitor. So you just want to put the primary keyword that you're trying to rank for here. You don't have to put in all these secondary ones. You're just going to put in the main one. And what this is going to do is it's then going to give you an SEO analysis score based off of your primary keyword here, and give you and tell you a bunch of different things that you can do to go ahead and optimize your SEO. So you can go ahead and go through these. And then once you open up SEO analysis, you can also have the option to add in synonyms. So let's say, for example, you have synonyms for your focus keyword. You can go ahead and add that in here, and it will take that into account for your analysis here. So let's say your main keyword was dog, but you had synonyms of hound or canine, then you can go ahead and put them in here. And what this will essentially do is it will factor that into your keyword density and everything as part of their SEO score. So in this particular case, a couple keywords for monitor, we could add in things like gaming display and gaming screen. So now let's go ahead and move on to the actual SEO analysis and take a look at some of these problems and improvements. So what we can go ahead and do here is it's going to give us a bunch of suggestions to go ahead and fix for our on-page SEO. So we can see here that it recommends for our key phrase length to be longer. So in this particular case, I'm going to just keep it the same because we're going to be optimizing for these other ones as well. And then we can see right here that the key phrase density, so the focus key phrase was found one time, so you typically want it at least 2 times in your text. And then we can see there that we have no meta description, and our description text length is short, and our images don't have any alt tags. So these are things that we're all going to address here. So in terms of SEO and optimizing here on a product page, there's going to be a few main sections that you need to look out for. So first is going to be the title. So the title is going to be the most important thing and have the highest weighting in SEO. So you want to make sure that your primary keyword is in your title. But you don't want to keyword stuff your title with a bunch of different keywords because then it looks stupid. Like, you want your title to actually look good, but at the same time, you do want your primary keyword in the title 100%. The second place is your description. So you want to make sure that your description has the keyword in it as well. The third place is going to be the alt tags of the images. And then the last place is going to actually be your meta preview, which we're going to get to in a second. So let's go ahead and go through this one by one. So first off, we see our title here is Acer 27-inch gaming monitor. But in this particular case, I think we can add a couple more keywords into this. So we can change this to, for example, Acer 27-inch 144 hertz gaming monitor. So we can see that we just added another keyword in right here. And let's say we wanted to also put in HDMI 2.1 like this in the title. So now we have added 2 more keywords from here into our actual title right there, which is good. So coming down to the actual description now, we can see that the description is decent, but it's a bit short. So we can see that it has HDMI 2.1 in it. It has 144 hertz in it. We want to go ahead and make sure that we have our keywords in it a couple times and add in a few different keywords as well. So let's say, for example, if we take a look at our longer keywords here for PS5 and Xbox Series X, which aren't in this description at all, we could add a sentence after this to say something like, all of these features make this monitor, make this display the best monitor for PS5 and Xbox Series X alike. So we can see that by adding in this sentence, we have just optimized our description slightly more for best monitor for PS5 and best monitor for Xbox Series X. So that's how we can drip feed more keywords in the description right here. But our description's still a bit short. So let's say we want to go ahead and add something else. So in this particular case, I'm going to go ahead and click on save these changes really quickly. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and edit with Shopify really quick, and I'm going to keep both of these screens up so we can keep coming back and checking our SEO score, as well as being able to optimize a couple things through here. So what I'm going to add to this description here is I'm going to click enter, and then I'm going to go ahead and insert an image to it real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and insert this image right here and click on insert, and then what I'm going to go ahead and do is add some copy to go below this image. So we can go ahead and add this in, and we can see right here that the 144 hertz refresh rate speed, so that's another 144 hertz keyword right here. And then we can see we have it in right here as well. So we can see that just like that, we've added more text to our description, and we've also added a couple more keywords in our description as well. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is if we come over here, we can see that the image alt tags was one of the issues right here. None of the images actually had alt attributes. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. So if I double click on this right here, we can go ahead and click on the image alt text. So what I'm going to go ahead and do here is I'm going to just put this image alt text as 144 hertz monitor. And then I'm going to click on edit image. And when it comes to the image alt text, you want to try and put your keywords inside of the alt text, but you also want to make sure that the alt text actually matches what's in the photo. So you don't want like a photo of a giraffe and then have the alt text say gaming monitor on it. So you want it to actually make sense. So now what I'm going to go ahead and do is come down to my product photos and do the same thing. So if I go ahead and open this one up and I click on add alt text, I'm going to go ahead and put our main keyword here in the first picture, so just gaming monitor. I'm going to click save, close this out. I'm going to go ahead and open up the second one, and I'm going to put in another keyword here. So I'm going to put in best gaming monitor. I'm going to go ahead and save that alt text right there. I'm going to take the third picture here, and I'm going to put in the keyword of best monitor for PS5. And then I'm going to go ahead and close this out. And then the fourth one here, I'm going to go ahead and put an HDMI 2.1 monitor. So each one of these image alt text has one of our different keywords in it, but they also match the photos because the photos are actually pictures of the monitor. So that's definitely something that's important to do. So we've went ahead and made our description a bit longer and optimized our alt text a bit. And we've optimized our title so far. So I'm going to go ahead and click save. And what we would ideally do here is, I don't want this video to go on too long, but what you would want to do is you'd want to continuously edit the description a little bit more. So we can see that I would say that this description has been optimized plenty for the 144 hertz monitor keyword, because we have it here, we have it in this alt text, we have it here, and we have it here. So maybe we'd want to put in the keywords PS5 or Xbox Series X one or two more times, or we could put in the word best monitor somewhere else as well. But you want to make sure that you go ahead and drip feed these keywords in. You want to make sure that it looks natural. Like, you surely don't want to do anything like this, where people used to do a lot of this back in the day, where you just come down here and you just paste in like a bunch of keywords, and like that just looks really stupid. So you definitely don't want to do that. You just want to try and fit your keywords in there in the most natural and fluid way as possible. So in this particular case, my suggestion for this description would be to probably add in maybe 2 more photos like this showcasing the features. So maybe one about HDMI 2.1, optimizing for our HDMI keyword as well. So that would be another way to take advantage of this. But in this case, I don't want the video to go on too long, so I'm not going to actually edit all of that right now. But you get the idea. So I'm going to go ahead and save here. I'm going to come back over here to Yoast with our product, and I'm going to refresh so we can take a look at our SEO analysis once again. So now if we go ahead and open this up once again, we can see that we have optimized a bit more of this as well. But we can see here that the text contains 186 words and you want a minimum of 200. So like I said, you definitely want to typically add in more text, which is what I recommended earlier. So coming back in here, we can take a look at some of the problems that it's telling us to address next. So we can see here that the focus key phrase here was only found one time, which is gaming monitor here. So we could look for a way to go ahead and put this in once again. So let's say in this sentence right here, I could go ahead and just add in gaming right there. And we can see that right there, that went ahead and fixed that issue. And then the next thing here is we can see that our meta description length, we don't have one yet. So this is what we have to go ahead and set up next. So I'm going to go ahead and come down here to the Google preview. And this is where we can go ahead and set up the meta description. So we can see this is what our Google search result would look like on mobile, and this is what it will look like on desktop here. So we can go ahead and edit our SEO title. We can edit the slug, the URL slug, and then we can go ahead and edit the meta description right here, which we can see is empty. So in this particular case, typically your title is going to be like your product title, and then you have a couple other variables that Yoast will help you insert into your title by default. But a lot of the times you're just going to have like your page title right here, and then in this case I would like get rid of page number and I'll just have like the product title, and then we'll have a separator, and then we'll have the site title right here. We can see that that looks pretty good on mobile and on desktop. And since we went ahead and already optimized our title for keywords up here, it's going to go ahead and be good right here as well. So the slug, we just want the URL slug to actually make sense. Now having the keyword in it is definitely going to be beneficial, and we already have the main keyword in here, so we don't need to change that. And now we have the meta description. So this is going to be the description that shows up right here, and we want to go ahead and have a couple of our keywords in it as well. But at the same time, we want to make sure it sounds natural and doesn't look stupid. So you would want to find a way to describe the product in a couple of sentences with your keywords in it, but without going overboard. So in this particular case, we could go ahead and type something like, so we can see right here, I just went ahead and typed in, this 27-inch Acer gaming monitor is an excellent choice for PS5 or Xbox gamers looking for a high refresh rate monitor with HDMI 2.1. So we can see here I went ahead and put in a couple keywords of gaming monitor, excellent choice. Of gaming monitor, I put in PS5, Xbox, and HDMI 2.1. But I also made the sentence actually make legitimate sense instead of it being like incoherent keywords stuffed in. So we can see that's how you can go ahead and edit the meta description right there. And then coming back up here, we can see that there's a few more things that it's going ahead and telling us to edit. So we can see here that, like I said earlier, we want to go ahead and add more text to the description. We can see that the key phrase is typically going to be the best when it's at the beginning of the actual title. But in this particular case, it doesn't make sense to put gaming monitor at the front of this title. So we're going to have to sacrifice a bit of SEO performance in that case. And then we can see right here that it is recommending that we don't have all 5 of our alt attributes matching our key phrase, so we could go back and change some of them to something else if need be. So that's how we can go ahead and edit our on-page SEO right there. And whenever you're editing, you can go through the different Yoast checklist right here and try and make this SEO analysis come out the green. But for the sake of time in this video, I'm going to go ahead and stop right there because I think you guys get the idea. And another thing you can do after you've optimized for your primary keyword here is you can go ahead and use some of the secondary keywords that we have in here. So let's say I went ahead and just took this one, for example, and we were to come down here to add related key phrase. We could go ahead and paste this in right here. And what it would go ahead and do is it would actually provide us a separate score for this related key phrase here. So if we went ahead and opened it up, we can see that it would go ahead and give us the issues just like it did for the primary key phrase, and we could put in synonyms for this and such as well. So if you wanted to optimize your article for all of your different key phrases at a high level, you could go ahead and add in each one of these related key phrases here just like that. The other thing I want to highlight real quick is the readability analysis as well. So if we open this up right here, we can see that this is just going to give us a score that pretty much shows us how readable our page is, so essentially how user-friendly the page is for the user to actually read the article. So it's going to give us suggestions here of problems and different things to go ahead and improve, just like we do up here for the SEO analysis. So this is another good analysis tool to go ahead and take a look at when optimizing your product pages. So at this point, now that we've edited our on page, the next thing in regards to on page that we need to do is we just need to make sure that our website performance is good. So one of the biggest things with on page performance is going to actually be to go ahead and try and compress your images on your site. So this just means shrinking the file size without compromising quality too much, so that way your page actually loads quicker. So there's a few different apps that you can go ahead and search in the App Store. Just search for like image compression or shrinking images, and you can find one that you can go ahead and compress images with, or you can compress them manually in Photoshop, or you can have somebody compress them for you. But you want to go ahead and compress your images, because this is going to be something that can massively increase your page loading speed. And if you want to go ahead and check your loading speed, you can come over here to page speed test, and you can click on page speed insights right here, and we can go ahead and take our store link right here, and you can throw it into page speed insights and click on analyze here, and we can go ahead and see that right now it's just analyzing our password page because this demo store is private, but it's going to go ahead and show us the performance of our page right here. So we can see here on mobile we got a performance score of 91, which is really good. It's in the green. And then the desktop we got a performance score of 100, which is obviously excellent. So ideally you want both of your performances to be above 90, but if you're above 70 you're probably fine, but you definitely want to be in the green if possible. If you're down here in the red, then there's definitely some issues going on, and you're going to want to address that. So in terms of optimizing for loading speed, like I said, you can compress your images with apps like Crush.pix, and you can also just make sure to minimize the app usage that you have on your store. So don't have like 50 different apps on your store, because that can slow down your loading speed as well. And the good thing about the Yoast app in particular is that it's very light, so it's not going to slow down your store performance at all. So now that we've actually edited a product, I want to show you how you can do some of this stuff in bulk using Yoast. So we came back over here to settings, and now we're going to take a look at content settings right here, and we can see how we edited our title and meta description earlier for the individual product. We can do it right here for our home page as well. So right now it's just site title and our meta description is empty, but we could go ahead and put in some defaults for our meta description right here by inserting variables. For the home page, we can come down here to products as well, and we can create default meta information for our products. We can have default SEO titles for every one of our products, and then we can have default meta descriptions by putting in these different variables right here as well. So this is something you can go ahead and do if you don't want to write each individual product description. If you have hundreds of products, you can go ahead and just set up a default generated one using all of these different variables here within Yoast. And then you can do the same thing here with, say, collections pages and blog posts as well. So this can help save you a good amount of time. If you go ahead and have like a ton of pages or a ton of products, you can do some of this automatically with default. So with that said, that's how you can go ahead and do SEO for your Shopify products, and then over time you can rank your products in Google and start getting passive traffic from SEO. So be sure to go ahead and check out the Yoast SEO app by clicking the link in the description, which is definitely going to help you out with optimizing your SEO. And if you're interested in learning more about SEO, you can go ahead and head over to yoast.com/academy, and they have a bunch of free resources here that you can go through to learn more about the basics of SEO to expand upon what we covered on in this video. That said, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave it a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel for more videos. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in another one.